Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something really exciting happening in Africa. It's all about innovation, specifically artificial intelligence, and how it's, well, really starting to drive some big changes across the continent.
Yeah, it's a fascinating space right now.
Our mission today is to unpack this unique initiative, Acalytica's Hottest Africa AI Startups 2025 competition. It's creating a whole new way for innovators there to get seen and get backed.
And it's needed, definitely.
Yeah, we're drawing from Acalytica's own blog post and the actual competition voting page. What really caught my eye is how it lets the community, directly fund these startups.
That's the really interesting part.
Okay, let's get into it. Africa seems to be on the edge of this technological renaissance, and AI is right at the heart of it, driving change.
It really is. I mean, people talk about technological renaissance, and it sounds grand, but you can genuinely feel it. AI is becoming this core tool.
A tool for what specifically?
For tackling real, long-standing challenges. Think healthcare access, think sustainable farming. AI is being applied there. But there's been this persistent issue.
Which is?
While AI booms globally, African innovators, they've often been sort of left out of the main picture, underrepresented in the big AI ecosystems.
Right, underrepresented. So was there something specific that started to change that, like a first step to find and lift up these African AI talents?
Yeah, exactly. The Frontier AI Accelerator was a really key first move. It was set up specifically to find and back startups using these frontier technologies, the really advanced AI, machine learning, to solve actual African problems.
Gotcha. So not just tech for tech's sake.
Not at all. And Acalytica then, very smartly, curated the top 32 ventures from that accelerator for this competition.
Ah, okay. So these aren't just random startups.
No, they're vetted, they're relevant, they're building solutions for real African needs. It's directly addressing that gap we talked about.
So Acalytica finds these amazing innovators, but the big question is always funding, right? How do you give them the fuel they need to actually grow?
Recognition is one thing, resources are another.
And that's where this Hottest Africa AI Startups 2025 competition comes in, but with a twist. It's a public voting thing.
Right.
And its goals seem pretty clear: to get these startups more visibility, let the community chip in financially, and connect them with investors and partners down the line.
All crucial things.
But here's a part that really jumps out. A vote isn't just like clicking a button.
No, definitely not. It's actual investment. Each vote costs 20 Rand, that's about a US dollar.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. 70% of that R20 goes directly to the startup you vote for.
70%, wow.
Yeah, it's huge. It's basically turning voters into micro-sponsors. Think about it, kind of democratizes funding.
How so?
Well, it bypasses some of the traditional VCs, the gatekeepers, especially in markets where maybe that kind of capital is harder to get or the terms aren't great.
Right, so founders keep more control.
Exactly. They get seed money without giving up equity, what they call non-dilutive funding. It really backs up that idea from the source material. Startups don't just need applause. They need support. Real, tangible support.
That's a really powerful model. It makes you think, doesn't it? How could this kind of community-driven approach scale up, globally, making sure innovators keep ownership?
It's a big question.
So let's look at the nuts and bolts. How did Acalytica actually set this up to make sure every vote, every rand counts?
They've built it for transparency, seems like.
Yeah.
Each of the 32 startups gets its own profile page on Acalytica's site.
And these are diverse startups.
Oh, yeah, very diverse. You've got EduVibs, which is like an AI tutor in your hand, Seratani AI in health, Welo Health, AgriVision AI for farming, Zoe Health, Mia Healthcare. The list goes on. Real variety in the solution.
Okay, and the voting itself, how does that work?
It's all done through a secure online platform.
Yeah.
And they emphasize that the vote tracking is totally transparent.
And the money, that 70-30 split, how open is that? Because trust is everything in something like this.
They state it's 100% transparent. That 70% for the startup you vote for is clear.
And the other 30%.
That covers Acalytica's costs, platform hosting, the tech infrastructure, and also efforts to get these startups more exposure later on.
Okay, that makes sense. And how do the startups actually get the money?
For the ones in South Africa, it's direct bank deposits. For others outside SA, they do weekly payouts using secure payment links or bank transfers. The idea is a steady, reliable flow of funds.
Right, reliable, that's key.
And it really shows how tech can enable that direct, transparent funding, which builds the trust you mentioned. Essential.
Now, choosing the winners, it's not just about who gets the most R20 votes, is it? There's a blended score.
Correct. It's quite clever, actually. 70% of the score is from the paid votes, the financial backing.
Okay.
But the other 30% comes from unique visits to the startup's profile page on Acalytica.
Ah, so it's not just about mobilizing cash. It's also about generating real interest.
Exactly. It rewards startups that can get people genuinely engaged looking into what they do.
Yeah.
And they use web analytics to make sure the visits are real, authentic ones.
That's smart. It measures both financial support and genuine buzz.
And beyond just the money flowing directly, Acalytica has bigger strategic goals here.
Like what?
Well, obviously, driving public awareness, getting people excited about African AI, but also, and this is crucial, building bridges.
Bridges between
These new startups and the ecosystem enablers, the bigger players, investors, potential partners.
Right, connecting the dots. And I suppose that involves sponsorships and partnerships for the competition itself.
It does. They have different levels. There's title sponsorship if a company wants to go big, our 100,000 plus.
Okay.
Then category sponsorships for our 50,000, focusing on specific areas like health tech or agri-tech, and even a supporter tier at our 10,000.
And who are they hoping will step up as partners?
It's a real ecosystem list. Think AI infrastructure companies, NVIDIA, AWS, Microsoft.
The big tech players.
Yeah. Also data providers like Hugging Face or Telcom, startup support programs like Google for Startups, MTN Business, and of course VCs and development funds.
So they're really trying to pull everyone together.
Definitely. It's positioned not just as a contest, but as a strategic play to weave African innovation into the global AI fabric.
And how are they getting the word out? To attract voters, partners, everyone.
A big push. National TV, radio, podcasts, plus email campaigns, and working directly with universities, accelerators, innovation hubs across the continent.
Sounds comprehensive, trying to make sure everyone knows this is happening.
Pretty much.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, the potential impact feels, well, quite significant.
I think so too.
It really shifts people from just watching to actively participating, right? And for the startups, the benefits are clear. That non-dilutive cash.
Crucial seed capital.
Real metrics showing traction, like the votes and the page visits.
Tangible proof points for investors.
And then all the media exposure and getting ready to talk to investors. It covers a lot of ground.
It really does. It supports them on multiple fronts. And like the source material says, quite powerfully, I thought.
What's that?
This competition is more than a moment. It is a movement.
That sums it up well. A movement. Okay, so here's something to chew on for you listening.
Yeah.
This unique model in Africa, this community-driven funding and boosting of innovation, what does it tell us about where global tech development might be heading? Could approaches like this start reshaping other emerging markets too?
Interesting question.
Yeah, think about how that mix of community belief, direct funding, how could that apply elsewhere, maybe in areas you care about? Lots to consider there.